Have you ever seen a graveyard for cars? In China, literally thousands of electric vehicles are being abandoned and left to rust. With 8 million EVs sold in 2023 alone, how did China end up with so many electric cars collecting dust instead of cruising the streets? Let's find out. Back in the early 2010s, China witnessed a car-sharing revolution. Companies like Didi Chuxing and Shouqi Car Rental sprouted like mushrooms, offering convenient and affordable access to wheels in bustling cities. These companies, however, faced a hurdle, convincing people to switch to electric vehicles which were new, expensive, and had limited range anxiety. To jumpstart the EV market, the Chinese government stepped in with massive subsidies. These subsidies slashed the price of EVs by up to 70% for car-sharing companies, making them significantly cheaper than traditional gasoline cars. It worked. Companies like Didi went on a buying spree, scooping up millions of EVs and flooding the streets with zero-emission vehicles. But this boom turned to bust faster than anyone anticipated. Once the government subsidies started to taper off, the car-sharing companies were left holding the bag. Maintaining a fleet of EVs proved to be expensive, especially since these early models had limited range and outdated technology. Selling them off wasn't an option either, as the used EV market wasn't established and consumers weren't keen on buying outdated electric cars. With mounting financial pressure and a fleet of unsellable vehicles, many car-sharing companies were forced to shut down. The consequence? Thousands of EVs they once proudly showcased are now gathering dust in graveyards across China, a stark reminder of the challenges and short-lived boom of the car-sharing industry. They relied heavily on car-sharing companies, the first major EV buyers, to jumpstart the infrastructure. The government essentially sacrificed some of the companies in the short term. Today, Chinese cities boast an impressive network of over 5 charging stations per kilometer, with some taxi fleets running entirely on electric vehicles. China's gamble paid off in terms of infrastructure, but the human cost of lost car-sharing companies remains to be seen. One of the selling points of electric cars is their supposed advantage in maintenance costs. After all, they have fewer moving parts compared to gasoline engines, and there's no need for oil changes or spark plug replacements. However, in China, this simplicity hasn't translated to lower repair bills. Here's why. Remember that wave of Chinese EV startups that popped up in China? Many of them have gone out of business, leaving a huge gap in terms of after-sales services. Without these companies around, finding trained technicians who specialize in repairing these specified EVs can be a challenge. Finding parts for these orphaned EVs is a nightmare. Defunct startups mean spare parts are scarce, pushing repair times up to 3 times longer and costs up to 5 times higher than gasoline cars. This unexpected burden discourages potential EV buyers and exposes a major challenge for the industry. The result? For many EV owners in China, even minor repairs can turn into a financial headache. In some cases, the cost of parts and labor can be close to or even exceed the value of the car itself. This harsh reality often leads them down a surprising path. Buying a brand new EV might actually be cheaper than fixing their current one. This trend isn't limited to China. In the US, reports show junkyards accumulating Tesla vehicles with seemingly minor damage. The reason? Similar to China, the high cost and long wait times for repairs can make buying a new Tesla a more attractive option for some owners. This unexpected consequence is a challenge that the EV industry needs to address to ensure a sustainable future for electric vehicles. China is the world's biggest EV market, but even giants have limits. The market is getting saturated. Chinese EV makers can pump out way more cars than they can sell domestically, and expanding to Western markets is proving difficult due to trade tensions. This means factories are producing EVs that have nowhere to go, leading to a pileup at dealerships, just like in the US, where Tesla is using abandoned malls to store unsold cars. So what does all this mean? Is China's EV graveyard a sign of progress or a looming problem? There's a bit of both. On the one hand, these graveyards are a reminder of the challenges of transitioning to a new technology, but on the other hand, they also show China's commitment to EVs and the progress they made in building infrastructure. The question is, can China find a way to deal with these abandoned cars and ensure sustainable growth in the EV market? That remains to be seen. Thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments below what you think about China's EV situation. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this.